Okay, so what I want to do now, I want to show you using register tape how you can decompose a whole into smaller fractional parts, starting with halves, fourths, and eighths. So here I have a strip of register tape, and this is my whole piece. So I am going to decompose this whole into two equal parts, which represents one half. Okay, so now I have one half, one half. And again, all I did was decompose my whole into two equal parts, which represents one half. Now, okay, one half here, one half here. It still represents the whole. It's just divided into smaller parts, okay? Now, I am going to divide my halves into another halves to make smaller parts, which are fourths. Now my halves have been partitioned into smaller parts, which are fourths. Now I'm going to do the same thing and divide my fourths into halves again to make smaller parts, which are eighths. And here are my eighths, okay? All of this still represents one whole. Okay, so this is what the fractions look like, and as you can see, we start with the whole, and then the whole is divided into our halfway parts, and then those halves are divided into another half, which gives us our fourths, and then you can see your fourths being divided into halves to give us our eighths. And so you're going to create this at home using a piece of notebook paper, and we're going to practice doing this now. Okay, so my color paper is going to be different from yours, but that's okay because it's going to be the same size as a piece of notebook paper or writing paper that you may have, line paper that you have. So this is our one whole. This sheet of paper represents our one whole, okay? And what we're going to do, we are going to divide our piece of paper into two equal parts. And so when you fold it horizontally, it should look like this, okay? So I'm going to make my folds. And here I have one half, one half. I'm going to use a marker so you can see it. One half, one half. Okay. So now I am going to divide again my halves into smaller pieces, which will be, if you think in fourths or said fourths, you are correct. So now we're going to divide it into fourths. So when I open it up, I can see I have four pieces. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to use another color marker so you can see the fourths, okay? Well, I thought I was going to use another color marker. It looks the same. I used the blue, and because of the color paper, it made it look green. So I'm going to go over it with a red marker. So now you can see when I folded my paper I have my fourths now. 1/4, 1/4, 1/4, 1/4. Okay, so now I'm going to divide my fourths into smaller pieces. So at first we started with half. Remember, folding our paper vertically, horizontally, half for our halfway point. Then we folded it again for fourths. And so now we need one more fold for eighths. Okay, so all you're going to do is just fold it again. And when you open it up, you should have eighths. Okay, so I am going to use a different color marker so you can see the eighths. So what I did, I just went through and labeled the eighths so you can see the 8 parts. Okay, so we started with a half. We created another fold for fourths, and then we did another fold for eighths. Okay, and I labeled the fractions. It may be a little bit confusing to you, but I just wanted you to see that you can use a piece of paper to model and demonstrate halves, fourths, and eighths. So you're going to create a fraction strip and you're going to anchor it in your math journal. So your fraction strips should look like this. You're going to start with one whole, and then you're going to, you can use one piece of paper, as a matter of fact, to do this. You don't even have to try and fold the paper. This is just practice. But if you use one sheet of paper and draw 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces, okay, and then you start at the top with one hole. And then you saw your one hole, and you're going to divide that hole into half, okay? And you label it 1/2, 1/2. Label it 1/2, 1/2, okay? And then you're going to do the same thing. You're going to divide your halves into another half to make fourths, okay? Which will look like this, okay? And so you're going to do another half, another divide. You're going to divide your fourths into halves to make smaller parts for 8. sure at the bottom you have 8 parts, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If you have a ruler at home, try to use the ruler to make your lines as straight as possible, because this also helps you when it's time to work on equivalent fractions. You can see what fractions are equivalent to another by using your fraction strips, okay? So you're going to use this. If you have construction paper at home or manila paper at home, you can use that to create your fraction strip. So you're going to create it, anchor it in your math journal, and send a picture to your teacher showing them your fraction strip.